Hey guys, another live episode here. And in tonight's live episode, I wanted to talk about making big purchases. To make a big purchase is going to change your life. Every big purchase changes your lifestyle. I would say anything over $10,000 should be considered a big purchase. For most people, that's going to be a car or a house. And I want to break down some steps in making a big purchase, what I run through, what I think you need to run through in your mind to try to make a wise decision. Because again, once you commit to making a big purchase, you are guaranteeing to change your lifestyle, change your stress levels, change your job obligations, your job options, change how you feel about life. Every big purchase, and I'll put a specific number, any purchase over $10,000 changes your life for a long period of time. Good to see you, Luke, on the live chat. Good to see you, man. How's everything? Good to see you. Today I was looking at a Class B RV, a Corrado Axion. Good to see you, Lauren. Good to see you. A Corrado Axion. It's the smallest Class B motorhome they make. It's about 18 foot long. One of my viewers, Liz, she had bought one. And so the company, Heimer, it's located in Canada. It actually used to be Road Trek. They're actually going through bankruptcy, and another company is getting ready to buy them out in September. So there's going to be some issues there with regards to possibly getting parts or things like that. But I was looking at it because it was compact. And, for a new Class B, they're advertising them for $65,000. Brand new, they were supposedly like $85,000 or $90,000, but they marked them down, try to get people in the door. So I was considering it to improve my lifestyle. Because again, any big purchase, that's what it does. It changes your lifestyle for the good or for the worse, for the good or for the bad. And so 2.5 years on the road in the Jeep, I've been looking at home bases. I've been looking at different options that would, if anything, could improve my lifestyle. Will a big purchase improve my lifestyle? I was looking at a home, whether it's a piece of land or a smaller property, but I still am not sold on that big purchase because I don't like the level of commitment to one area and the lack of flexibility. Lack of flexibility and obligation to one area and to an HOA, because most of the RV lots I looked at, they're in an HOA. You'd have to go like in the country land to get a piece of land that you could put an RV on legally if you didn't want to be part of an HOA here in Florida. So I'm kind of not sold on that. Now, with regards to making a big purchase, buying land or buying a house, the positive with that is it tends to appreciate in value, or at least retain its value better than a motorhome. Okay, a motorhome is going to depreciate in value. But with a motorhome, there's more flexibility. Okay, you can get up, start your vehicle, you go anywhere you want. A little bit less stealth than a van. Good to see you guys on the live check. And Apathy, great to see you. Liz, my man Journey with Jordan. 2020, I'll get to all you guys. Thank you. So I like the motorhome idea because I feel like I'm not as committed, and I'll still have a level of mental freedom. And, even though it will be a depreciating asset, I keep flexibility and it'll still retain some value. Okay, and it's easier to get in and out of rather than buying property. And I looked at the 1,000 Trails Pass because you have to think about once you acquire, what's next. I thought about where would I park this thing? How would I utilize its capacity? With its electrical hookups and all different things. And 1,000 Trails Pass would definitely be one option I would definitely do. I don't know if I would always use it because the campgrounds aren't always in the areas I like the best, but that would supplement a level of cost for where I would park it. So I came very close today. I actually had made an offer, and we went back and forth a little bit, but I really wasn't, I didn't go to the dealership to purchase it. And so I was kind of hesitant to really go and get down to the nitty gritty, but I just threw something out there just to see, they were asking 66,000. That's pre-tax. Tax is like 7% or so in Florida. So, and then you have to pay for like dealership fees and dealer tags. There's always more cost to a big purchase than the MSR price. There's always more cost to buying a house than just what it's listed at. You have closing costs when you buy a house. You have inspections. You have appraisal costs. There's always more cost than just the asking price. That's lesson number one in making a big purchase. You've always heard me say that count the cost before you proceed. There's a scripture that Jesus said, before you do anything in life, you should count the total cost of what it is, or else you'll start to do something and you won't be able to finish. And so one is looking at all the additional fees on top of the asking price. So it's basically like 10% on top of the asking price. So if you paid 66,000, you got to add 10%. You got to add another 6,000 to that cost after taxes, fees. So I just threw out the number 50,000. I said I'd go 50,000, and they went back for it. I said no, that's way too low, because they've been moving units. They only have a couple left, and they're not in a rush to sell. And dealerships still kind of go. You get a little bit more leverage if you go at the end of the month, because they have to reach their sale quota when it comes to buying a car or a motorhome. So always make a mental note of that. Timing does matter, okay? Because they get paid on commission, and at the end of the month, all the sales people, their numbers, and their manager, their numbers are looked at how many sales did you make this month. And so there's more urgency to buy when there's money on the line for everyone. Okay. So, but I was fine with that. I was actually relieved when I didn't want to take the 50,000, because I wasn't really that serious. I just kind of threw it out there. But be very careful if you're not strong-willed going into RV dealerships or car dealerships, because they prey on people who just get caught up in that emotional situation, and it's very emotional. And you almost feel awkward, like not wanting to give an offer. You almost feel awkward walking away. Your strength in any big purchase, and I realize I put my thing makes big purchase, supposed to be making big purchases. I'll have to change that. But your strength in any negotiation, because every big purchase is setting you up for a negotiation. Because every asking price is negotiable. Now, sometimes people pay more than asking price when there's bidding wars. But here's what I would tell you in making a big purchase. Always be willing to walk away. Always be willing to walk away. Unless you absolutely need something, then you have no choice. But your strength comes from your ability to walk away. Okay. The next is your strength comes from having the knowledge of and preparation of what you're prepared to pay, negotiating the interest rate and the loan terms, not just the payment. There's a saying that said that poor people only focus on the payment. And I understand that. I've been there, and I know that's a little bit hurtful. Some people hear that, but I'd rather it sting a little bit and you get that. You have to ask yourself, what am I going to pay on the loan? Am I going to finance 50,000? What's the interest rate going to be? And after 20 years, if you financed a motorhome, how much total cost would you outlay? Don't just look at the payment. Look at the final payout. You need to know that. You need to do a little bit of math. You need to make your brain work a little bit. And you need to do this before you sit next to the sales rep. Now, from my research, when you buy a motorhome, okay, if it's going to be your residence or if it's going to be a secondary, you can, from my understanding, do your own research, you can deduct the interest on the loan if it's a fully contained unit, meaning that if it has a full shower, full bathroom, full kitchen, full bedroom, you can deduct the interest on the loan the same way you would deduct interest on a mortgage. Okay, so it is tax deductible. So big purchases, that's why too, when they negotiated in America, when Trump negotiated the tax reform bill a couple years ago, a big contentious thing with all the tax reform is always that the lobbyists for the realtors, they do not want to lose the home reduction percentages, meaning that, like, they don't want the government to take away the deductions for interest on a loan or for property tax, because that helps the realtors, that helps the real estate market to. There you go. Never fails, guys. Never fails. Whether it's a loud Mustang or a loud diesel truck. But I was a young kid. I had a loud sound system, so I understand it. I wonder what his loan payment was. He probably didn't pay attention. He didn't pay attention to the loan payment. He said, "How loud can this car go?" And I understand. When I bought my stereo system for my car, I just said, "How loud can it go?" I didn't ask about payment plans, interest. Guys, I'm a middle-aged man, guys. So some of you guys, if you're in your 20s and you like loud cars, hey, go at it, man. I did it when I was young. I'm a middle-aged man. I'm not a kid anymore, guys. Sorry. That's all right. Some of you guys are adults and you still like that stuff. That's all right too. That's okay. Some of you girls are adults and you get upset with me when I say take away the Hello Kitty. All right, let's stay positive tonight, Sam. Let's stay positive tonight. And what I could tell you is this. That even though, whether it's a car loan interest rate, well, not a car loan, but a motorhome, because a motorhome's fully contained, you can deduct interest. And again, the lobbyists for the realtors and the construction business, they like the fact that homes have a level of tax deduction, because it's an incentive to keep people making these big purchases. And that keeps the economy going, right? 70% of the U.S. economy is based on consumerism, making big purchases, okay? So I've been very cautious not to get caught into that consumerism loop, because I did that before in my youth when I used to like loud sound systems and loud all that. I did that. Guys, I did it. And what I tell you is total disaster. It took a while to get out of that. So now, as I've been trying to get away from society standards and live my own life, I'm finally free. I'm not going back into bondage. I got to be very careful. Even today when I was negotiating with the sales guy, it was a light negotiation too. He goes, "Well, give me something else. Let's make this work." And I said, "Look," I said, "today I just came here to do research." I said, "I am going to err on the side of caution." Anytime you make a big purchase in life, err on the side of caution. And he said, "Sam, you may miss out on this deal." He says, "You know how fast these units been selling?" I said, "No, I know." I said, "And to be honest with you, I know that's not just a sales pitch, because I did the research and I seen how fast they have been selling in the area and that there's only a couple left. So I understand that." I said, "I'm willing to take the chance." I said, "But that's a fair point." And he started to tell this story. He just moved to Florida. He moved from Phoenix. To Florida with his wife. And he said he had to make a similar decision. He said he didn't really want to buy a house. But when he came here, like 2 months ago, his wife wanted to buy a house. And he goes, he came back after they went to visit the house and his wife signed the papers. And he goes, "Sam," he goes, "I was shocked that she signed the papers." And he goes, "I was a little nervous." He was still like shaking. He started going his whole spiel. I just kept my mouth shut. During a big negotiation, keep your mouth shut, let the other person talk. Guys, that takes wisdom. So he's starting to tell me about, like, don't miss out the opportunity. Now he starts talking about his own life. I said, let me keep my mouth shut and listen to this guy. So basically what he said was his wife got so excited she signed the paperwork to buy a house, and he kind of wished he was renting. Then he started thinking about his life. He goes, "Man," he goes, "but you don't want to miss out on you don't want to miss out on an opportunity." He goes, "My wife grabbed it up even faster than I thought we would." But so he was still thinking about all the payments he was doing. The two biggest purchases you'll make in life is a house or a car. And you could put motorhome in that category, obviously, too. They say the average car payment today in the United States of America is about $500 per month. That's a lot of money, guys. Now, if I finance like a $60,000 motorhome, it would probably be under $500 per month. Why? Because the average car loan is 5 years. The average RV loan is 20 years. Now, he did tell me that anything over 50,000, you go 20 years. He goes below 35,000, you can only do up to 15 years. So you have to finance a certain amount of money to stretch it out that long. Make a mental note. Now that'll vary depending on the dealer and the banks. Everything's negotiable. Every big purchase, everything's negotiable, guys. Thank you guys for all the live comments. We're gonna get to more. So, and I see somebody talking about like, yeah, like you could deduct your RV or something like that for, like if you had a YouTube channel living on the road, you can't deduct the payment. Okay, you could. There's certain fees like camping fees and stuff like that you could use as a deduction if your channel's based on RVing and things like that. Just like any business, just like XB Jeffy. Well, XB Jeffy, you're not monetized yet. But any business that you're monetized, any expense related to that business, you can use as a deduction. But here's the thing with a deduction, okay? A deduction does not mean you get money. A deduction means that a percentage of the expense is excused, okay? Whether it's a mortgage interest deduction on your house, whether it's a mortgage interest, whether it's an interest rate on your RV, whether it's a camping fee, it's not money you're getting. It's if you give $10, you only, it's like, it takes away some taxes that you would have to give. It's basically saying like you still are you're gonna spend $10, and it's not like you get any money back. It's just like a certain percentage off your income you don't have to pay taxes off. But if you have no income, if you have more expenses than income, it's still your loss. You're still in the red, okay? The goal of every business, now some businesses vary, especially real estate. A lot of them, they try not to get a profit because they don't want to pay taxes. A lot of big companies, they have lobbyists, they have lawyers working the loopholes, gazoo. So, when we talk about big purchases, if you have a business, there's so many other ways that you have to weave it. But it's true. Look, you should use every business expense as a deduction if it's justified. That's what everyone does. But you have to be clear that the whole purpose of a business is to make a profit. Okay. So to make a profit, you have to figure out how can I have more revenue than expenses. Now, that's for a small business. If you're a publicly traded company, you don't even care if you make a profit. Amazon didn't make a profit for like 20 years. Most publicly traded companies, they don't care if they make a profit because they're able to leverage and borrow more debt. They just care about cash flow. Publicly traded companies don't care about cash flow. Okay. Private companies that are supplying their own funds, meaning that when you're a publicly traded company, you're basically soliciting, you're a Boy Scout. You're a Boy Scout in front of Publix, and you're soliciting the public to buy stock in your cookies. Okay. And so you can send out all these little certificates to all these people at Publix to, hey, look, now you have stock in my company. It's just a piece of paper, but you take money from them and then you can spend it however you want. Okay. Now they're expecting a dividend back or a capital appreciation, but they're taking a risk. They're taking a risk. But every business, just your life is a business. If you have no YouTube channel, if you have no real estate business, if you're not a Boy Scout being a panhandler in front of a Publix, your job is your life. Your life is, when it comes to finances, whether you own a house, a car, whatever, whether you rent, your life is based on how do you get more income than expenses, because that's how you live below your means, and that's how you have positive cash flow, and that's how you live in a surplus. Okay, the government can live in a deficit because the government prints money. Publicly traded companies can live in a deficit because they live off borrowed money. The individual can't, because you have to feed yourself. Okay, you can't print money, you can't issue stock, so you have to be different than the big companies. Okay, so you have to be in the business of your life. You have to have more income than expenses, and these are the numbers you have to run, not just the payment. The payment, whether it's $500 a month or $2,000 a month for your mortgage, the payment only reflects your cash flow for your monthly budget. Okay. So you're trying to figure out, when it comes to a payment, do I have enough cash flow each month to make the payments and have a surplus, or will I be in a deficit, or will I just break even? That's the whole point of payments. When you look beyond that with a business mind, you're looking at the amount you're leveraging, the amount you're borrowing, okay, $50,000, $250,000 for a house, whatever it is, and then you're looking at the interest, and you're looking at how much you're paying over a period of time for it, and then you're trying to figure out how it affects your lifestyle. Okay, how is it? Because once you take on a big purchase, and once you sign the paperwork, and then you take on debt, okay, what you do is you are changing your lifestyle. You're changing your stress levels. You're changing how you move in life. Like if I buy a motorhome, my lifestyle changes a little bit. Still a nomad, but now I'm going to be in more campgrounds. Now I'm going to have different maintenance costs. Okay, now I'm going to have different gas expense ratios. I'm going to have a different way of looking at things. Now, the reason I still lean like towards the small little crowd, because I still have flexibility. I could still say to myself, Sam, I can go to anywhere in the country and work if I had to, if for any job, for any reason. Okay, I like that, and I could find a campground in that area with full utility hookups. So if I got really sick, I could park at an RV park for 2 months or whatever, and I have a fully contained unit. Okay, so that's the benefit. Okay, and that, yes, I'm paying for, but it's better than being in a hotel, wasting a couple thousand, maybe. I don't know. I haven't justified it yet because it's close to if it's worth it or if it's not. But you have to put some thought into it. You don't just go to the dealership and say, "Oh, this looks great, sign me up." I did that, guys. I did that before in my life. I made mistakes. That's what I told the guy. At the dealership. I said, and when he said, "Look, Sam, I don't want you to miss out on an opportunity," I go, "Let me tell you something. I'm erring on the side of caution because in my life, when I've rushed, that's how I ended up in debt." I said, it took me about 10 to 15 years to crawl my way out. I said, I'm finally in a good position. And when I make big purchases now, I err on the side of caution because any big purchase guarantees more expenses. Any one, okay? And even if you pay cash. So some people say, Sam, I'll never pay for anything unless I'm paid for cash. And I'm not mad at that. I'm not going to say that's bad. But I want to say your number one asset in a financial downturn, whether it's your own financial downturn or society, is the amount of cash reserves you have. Okay, because your cash reserves is what separates you in between destitute, between you and having to ask someone for money, between you and going to the bank to beg for more money, between you and repossession. The only thing between you and repossession is cash reserves. So if you buy something cash and you don't have a lot more cash, not good. Okay, that's how Ford Automobile Company, one of the reasons that they were the only big auto company that did not have to borrow from the government during the financial downturn in 2008. They were like the only auto company that didn't have to borrow from the government, was because they had a certain amount of cash reserves. So your emergency fund is your biggest asset. Now you have to be careful because especially in a time like this where they're printing a lot of money and the interest rates are low, inflation can creep up. And when you have a house, that can be an inflation hedge. And again, a house or a piece of land that appreciates in time and it kind of helps you with inflation. When you buy an RV or when you buy a car, that depreciates in value and that does not really help you too much when it comes to inflation. So you leave yourself vulnerable on those sides, but what you keep is flexibility. Now again, why I like this Corrado is because I'm still around 15, 20 miles per gallon, because you got to look at gas, because right now gas is low, right? So you say, Sam, gas is like, in Florida right now, it's like $2.20 a gallon for regular. Now, if you're in Boca Raton, it's still close to $3. It all depends where you go. Shout out to Lauren. But you have to always say, look, if gas doubles, am I going to be hung out to dry? Now, if I had like a huge like Class A diesel pusher, then yeah. But this, I don't think I'd be out to dry, but I have to calculate for that. Jesus said, always calculate and count the cost. Okay, and that's not religious, that's just wisdom. All right, count the cost, guys. Offensive coordinator headset, or should I go back to the other one? Give me some feedback on that, guys. I know it looks like a disaster. I know. I don't care. I gave up. But I'm sharing with you some things that I want you to consider when making a big purchase. I want you to err on the side of caution because you can never go back. Okay. Like I see Jerry with Jordan, I'm gonna get all live comments, but Jerry with Jordan just said he wished he bought stock at Ford when it got down to $2.50 50 cents a stock. Yeah, but you can never play that game because there's no guarantee you would have sold it at the height. And if you pick that one right, you may have picked 10 other ones wrong. So don't beat yourself up. And the thing with a big purchase is once you make it, you can never go back. Just like life. Like once you sign the papers to commit, you can never go back. And that's why every dealership, and even the house purchases, even though a house purchase, you have more areas to back out. There's like a 3-day waiting period for most house purchases that you have for either attorney review or for just consultation that you can back out for any reason. You also have the home inspection clause that after the home inspection, you could back out for any reason. So there are checks and balances when it comes to purchasing a home. That's why it's a hard asset, not a liquid asset. And that's why it's a lot to buy and sell. That's why you got to be very cautious to buy a house. Because you fix to one place for a long period of time because it's not liquid, it's hard asset. Now it appreciates, tends to, but it's a hard asset. But there's a lot of safety valves that allows you to exit the deal without being liable. A car motorhome, you don't have as much. In a motorhome, they don't have lemon laws. Their lemon laws are a lot more laxed, and basically the RV dealership can kind of like work on the car indefinitely without classifying it as a lemon. Okay, so you don't have as much safety protection. Now, what I did check with the motorhome, even though this company Heimer, they're getting ready to go through bankruptcy and get bought out. One thing I did like is that it's on a Dodge chassis. Okay. Because when you buy a motorhome, the number one thing you need to have under warranty is the engine, the transmission, the chassis. That's the heart of it. Like the air conditioning and like the fixtures, that stuff you could buy at Home Depot if you really needed to. You know what I'm saying? But the nuts and bolts, as far as the engine, the transmission, the drivetrain, that you want under warranty, and that you want to be able to go to any dealership. So I asked him specifically, can I go to any Dodge dealership to get that service? He goes, this model, yes. He goes, obviously there's going to be some exceptions. He goes, but this is pretty much like a conversion van. It's not like a full-blown like Class A, and that's what I like. Why do I like that? More flexibility, more options, less leverage on me. Oh, it does. Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate that. XB Jeffy said the headset's great. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. I appreciate, too, you guys click that thumbs up button. Share the video. I thank you for that. I'm going to get to all live comments. Apathy, so great to see you. Petty Doll, love you, Queen. Dennis, shout out to you, man. Everyone, don't feel neglected if I didn't read your name. I'll read them. But what I want to share with you is don't just look at the payments. The payments only project your monthly cash flow. You have to look at the long period of time. You have to think about 20 years. You have to think about 5 years. I'm just about done paying off my Jeep Renegade. I paid it off a year early, guys, or so, almost more than a year early. And it's not fully paid off yet. Still got a couple thousand. Because I don't want to pay it off. I got a 0 interest loan on it. Okay. But I have a few $1,000s left on it. 5 years is a long time. Think about where you were 5 years ago. Think about where you were 5 years ago. I only bought the car 3 years ago, and I'm getting ready to make another big purchase. See, when you make a big purchase, you think you'll want that thing forever. But make a mental note, guys. 3 years after buying the Jeep Renegade, I'm ready to make another big purchase. So you buy a house with a 30-year mortgage, which I did at one time. You think you're going to be in that thing for 30 years? I was there for almost 15. It felt like I was dying. I said, I got to get the hell out of here. I feel like I've been here forever. Every big purchase usually comes with a long loan period. And what I can tell you is your life changes a lot in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. It changes a lot in 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, things were a lot different in my life, guys. Well, somewhat, not a lot. But I want you to think about, when you get ready to sign for a big purchase, I want you to think about the loan length commitment. And think about, like if it says 5 years, think about, deduct 5 years from your age now and think about where you were. So if you're 60, think about where you were at 55. If you're 30, think about where you were at 25. And if you're getting ready to sign a 30-year mortgage, think about where you were 30 years ago. Some of you guys weren't even born yet. You weren't even in your mother's womb. Your father was still masturbating in a sock about you. Come on, guys. All right, let's stay positive. Think about the loan. Think about the interest. Think about the tax deduction. But remember, tax deduction doesn't mean that you get more money. It just means that out of the money you're spending, you're able to write off a certain amount so that you don't have to pay taxes on a certain level of income. But you're still net losing in many cases. Obviously, if you have a business, whether it's a house or a motorhome or a car, there's some instances even leasing a car may make sense if you own a business because you can, work around the lease. So, think about that as well. That may help. The biggest purchase you'll ever make in your life is your kid. Having a child is the biggest purchase you'll ever make. Now, I don't want to get deep into that, but I always want you to understand that. And that payment never stops. I always remember my mom saying, she goes, Sam, once you have a kid, it never stops. So you better be sure that if you ever want to have kids, just remember, it never stops. And she was right. And I appreciate all my mom has done for me and my father. I appreciate it. But after you get past the payments, after you get past the interest, after you get past the business, and you're always in the business of your life. If you have no business, it's the business of your life because you're the CEO of your life. You're the CEO of your life. Never forget it. And the minute you start acting like a CEO and take charge of your life, then your life will change. But if you act like the lazy, apathetic, person at the drive-through working for minimum wage, even though there's some great people working for minimum wage. But if you have a mindset of that, and that's how you manage your life's going to be a disaster. Your life's going to be a disaster. You have to really grab hold of your life and say, I'm the boss of your life. And so, now as you have a boss mindset, and I don't like to use the word boss, but now as you have a manager mindset, you're managing your life. You're looking at the payments, you're looking at the interest, the business, the length of the loan. The final thing is, which I alluded to in the beginning, is you have to think about lifestyle. Because when you buy a house, your lifestyle is changing. When you buy a motorhome, your lifestyle is changing. When you buy a new car, your lifestyle changes. So you're going to have to look at the nuances of what the purchase is for you and how your life's going to change. And that's okay. I don't want to scare people. And I don't want to scare myself, but I want you to err on the side of caution. Because the commitment you make to a big purchase changes your stress and the way you move in life, your job opportunities, the risk you can take. Let's take a hydration break. Take care. Bye-bye. That's my Starbucks. Yeah. All right. But the risk, the commitment you make, it changes, what your future plans will be. And I want you to think about, after you've counted the monetary cost, I want you to think about the mental cost. You often hear me talk about mental health. I take it serious. I take it just as serious as physical. I'm not perfect. I don't have the perfect physical body. I'm not perfect in any way. But I try to be mindful of some wellness, okay, a level of wellness. And I think about now when I make decisions, how much stress will it put on me? Okay, and sometimes stress is good. Don't always live below your potential because you don't want to be stressed out. Sometimes you have to put a demand on yourself. Sometimes you have to be bold. Okay, but I always tell you, I'd rather you be like that towards the job promotion, because when you get a job promotion and you put more demand on yourself, what you're doing is you're ensuring more income. So when you put stress on yourself because you're reaching for the stars to get a better job, that you're going to get something back. You're going to get income. When you reach for the stars and you make a big purchase, you're going to have an expense. That's the difference, guys. So that's why people say, Sam, like, why should I advance my career when I can live simple? I say, yeah, that's fine. But when you advance your career, even though you may get a little bit more stress, you get more income, dollar bills. When you buy a minivan, or when you buy a RV, or when you buy a house, you got more expenses. So that's the whole point. Like, if you're going to put a demand on yourself, make sure you do it for income, and then make big purchases. But think about your lifestyle and how it will change. Your life changes when you buy something big. How much? Because you're putting more demand on your finances, on your mental stress, on everything else. But if you're living below your means, there's nothing wrong with adding some things. But I say at this point in my life, and I caution everyone to live with as much flexibility as possible. Flexibility means how quickly can you get out of something? How quickly are you able to move locations? How mobile will you be? And I think if you can keep a high level of flexibility, or a pretty good level of flexibility, and you can live below your means, I think you make the right decision if you want to proceed with a big purchase. Is there one answer that will fit for everyone? No. There's no such thing. Is there a perfect answer? Nope. Is there a good mindset to be thoughtful and to talk this out with yourself? Yes. Sometimes I've thought about making a big purchase, buying a home base, buying different things. And some great viewers have said, Sam, it sounds like you're talking yourself out of it. Yes, sometimes I am. Sometimes I'm talking myself out of it because I have to play out all the different scenarios. Worst case scenario, best case scenario. Because you don't want to just make a big purchase off emotion. Not good. And Spring Hill says having options is power. Yes, options are flexibility. Options are leverage. No options? I have no options at one point. I was at a Ford dealership, getting a cargo van for my electrical contracting business. They charged me 25% interest. And I had to borrow money from them. It was a horrible feeling, guys. I feel like I got molested when I got out of that car dealership. I had no options. I'd take whatever they give me. So again, flexibility comes with a price. Usually flexibility means you're not going to have as much upside on appreciation. You know, again, example is obviously with a house. A house, it doesn't leave you as flexible, but because you're going to commit to one area, you have some equity in the upside if that area appreciates. So where flexibility you gain in the short and medium term, but you have potential in long term to sacrifice some. I'm willing to sacrifice some long term because if I could still, at my age, keep my options open to work anywhere, keep my mobility if a hurricane comes to move, I value that more than commitment to a land that may or may not appreciate as much. But I got to be fair. That flexibility has some sacrifice. The sacrifice is you really don't have equity and upside. You're really going to have a level of depreciation. But I think it's made up for through the asset of mobility and being able to be very fluid in your decision making and location choices for whatever reason. So I kind of long-winded tonight. I gotta actually, it's amazing that there was somebody in here that said something about my face, but they have a profile with no face. I've never met a hot, beautiful girl or a nice looking guy that came on YouTube to be a troll. Never in my life. It's always an old, nasty lady or a young guy that never had any girl in his life. It's a total disaster. You always got to think about that, right? Like a troll online, it's never a beautiful person hiding behind a beautiful person right now. Guys, they're out in Boca Raton. They're not online. Come on. Come on, guys. I'm not impressed. Now, let's stay positive. Yep, that's right. All they got is a thumbs down because they damn sure don't got a date tonight. You think like an ugly person that's a troll, you think they got date options? They got no options. Their only option is to create another fake profile. Guys, I know the game. Come on. Not impressed. You think about that, like so many people, and I still have apathy. I remember apathy sharing with me. She started a channel. She shut it down because of trolls. Guys, you have to remember, trolls online, their life is a complete disaster, physically, emotionally, and mentally. So I'm not saying you judge them, but don't let them give you crap. Because did I say anything negative about anyone today? No, I'm talking about big purchases. So again, I'm fully confident that I'm not tearing anyone down. But when I see someone come in here to say something negative about me, when I'm not speaking any negativity, I know exactly the type of person I'm dealing with. And that's why I have no remorse on him. Just like, the Texas shooter, he should, to me, death penalty. And to me, some of these trolls, same thing. Because they're harming innocent people, and mental issues are not an excuse. Like we don't like say, all right, you can go into a Walmart and just shoot 20 people, and because you have mental issues, you're excused. No, you get death penalty. Because you can't function in society. You're unsafe to society. And some of the comments, now I don't care about the comments because I'm way above that, but some of the comments, you know how much they hurt other people? And I could see if it's a reply to like you getting bashed, but if you're not getting bashed, you're a bully. You're a bully, and to me, low character person. Very low. And I don't think highly of you. I don't care how many thumbs down you got. Don't impress me. And never will. I've been making videos for 2.5 years, upload every day. There's one coming tomorrow too. So get another fake profile. Get another one, and then another one. And guess what? Another video is going to come to you. So sorry about that break. But this is part of life too. Because if you're having this is why a lot of people, you can't have a big purchase like a house and do all these different things in life and share your life. Because when you make big purchases and you do different things, you have a lot of stress on yourself. And so you got to deal with that, and you got to deal with people who are just projecting negativity. I've often shared if I didn't downsize my life, I wouldn't be able to share my life because I freed up a level of capacity that I could deal with other people. Because I know what dealing with it is. I know what dealing online is. I understand life. But I want to share with you these insights, okay? And I want you to think about them. I want you to do whatever you want with your life because ultimately it's your life, But as you get older, I think you realize that no one's really going to come to bail you out, okay? And so you want to. Thank you, Liz. I appreciate that. You just want to be cautious because, again, for me, one of the biggest things right now in my life is I don't want to be on the hook too much Because if I'm on the hook, that's exactly, you got to go back to a manipulative person. Like some of the people that are online here and they troll, they're manipulative people. They actually have family members, they have friends. And if they talk to that like a stranger, if someone owes them money, they actually, how do you think they're manipulative people? They are. There's a lot of wolves out there. There is a scripture that says, be careful, I send you out as sheep amongst the wolves. Guys, there's wolves down here, guys. Don't think like, everyone's like, great, there's wolves. There's wolves. Should you fear them? Don't fear anyone. Because look, we're all terminally ill. But don't make excuses for them either. Don't. You destroy your life. You're never going to impress, or you're never going to make happy people who are never happy with you for no reason. Now, I know we're getting away from big purchases, but this is more important than anything else in life. And this is why many people that forget about making a big purchase, they can't go on with their life. Because the negative voices hurt their life. Guys, live your best life. Live your best life. Keep showing up. Every time you show up, you put a dagger in every nasty person that hates themselves. Never forget it. All right, guys, we're going to all live comments. And what I can tell you is, I'm feeling good tonight. Let's take a hydration break. I did feel good, too, when I drove off that lot without a commitment. Now, would I have been mad if I drove off that lot and I made a commitment? I would have been a little bit more nervous. And I told him, look, I like to think about any big purchase at least 48 hours. 48 hours. Anytime you spend more than $10,000, I think you should wait 48 hours before you make a decision. All right? Let's take a hydration break. All right. Now we're going to go all live comments. Luke, again, brother, great to see you. Luke, what's up, Sam? I have not talked to you in a while. I know, man. Miss you, brother. Sending you some positive vibes August month. Yeah, great. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Luke's a positive person. Luke, your positive vibes, my man. Every day is a battle. That's right. Stay positive. That's right. And motivated and a healthy mindset. I agree with you. You looking to make a big purchase anytime soon with the land, property, or something else? Well, I just broke that down. Thank you for asking. Lauren, good to see you. Hey, Sam. Lauren, I like those Class Bs you showed today. Yes. That was the model up. I did a video today of the Heimer Activia. The Heimer Corrado Axion is the notch below that. So the one I did say was a little bit bigger and about $20,000 more. So the Corrado Axion is the smallest one, pretty much smallest Class B, brand new you can get in the market. They used to be made by Road Track, and now they're going bankrupt again. So I don't know how long they'll make them, but I'm sure they will because they've been selling a lot. Let's continue to read. Liz, hello, Sam. Thank you for being you. Well, I appreciate that, Liz. I appreciate your love. Thank you. Apathy, hey, Sam. Good to see you. Good to finally catch you. It's great to have you back, Apathy. Good to see you. I'm glad you're doing okay. Luke, out of all the motorhomes you have seen, which one or model would you get? The Corrado Axion, 18-foot long. Love it. But still not like, I drove it today. It's still not like driving a car. I still would probably prefer the feel of the Jeep, but it fits in a regular parking space. It's like driving a bigger van, not too bad. So it had a good feel. Luke, gotcha. Yeah, the miles per gallon, he says between 15 to 20 miles per gallon. I say probably get closer to 20. The bottom line is it's the smallest Class B on the market. So you're not going to get more efficient than that. It's a 6-cylinder V6 or whatever. Forgot the size of the engine, but you're not going to get any more efficient than that. Journey with Jordan. Hey, Sam. Cool video this morning. Thank you. Yeah, with the pop-up tops. Yes, this Corrado Axion actually has a loft too. So it has that too. So if I ever picked up my mom, she could sleep on the bottom. I could pop the top. I don't know how long we do that, but we could do it for a little bit. Looking all official with your headset. Yeah, well, it looks a little suspect, but I want to have good audio. Makes me want to play some Hollow or something. Yeah, it does look a little wild. 2020. Drum roll, please. Good job, Luke. So you would get land and a motorhome. I wouldn't get land yet. I would just, if I'm going to get the motorhome, I'd just get that. Then I would get the 1,000 Trails Pass. And then I would just mix that up with some paying camping and some free camping, because I could still do free camping with that. So 1,000 Trails Pass, about $750 a year. And you can camp 14 days, and you have to go out of the system for 7. So pretty much if I did a campground every day of the month, I would have to pay for 7 days out of a month. So let's just say $30 per night is the average camping fee in Florida. So it's about 200 after taxes, about $225 per month I would pay in a monthly fee. So that's not bad. And I have full utility hookups. That's not bad. And again, it would be even less if I was over 65 and a Florida resident, or if you were disabled, because you get 50% off state parks. So instead of 225 a month, you'd be at like 125. So you could still make it cheap, but again, you do have a depreciating asset, but you have your flexibility, and it's not too much, and you can work from anywhere. So I like it. Let's continue to read. And then he goes, motorhome sounds awesome. Would you still keep your car? Good point. As an extra vehicle? I thought about that. Now, here's the thing. The Corrado Axion can tow up to 4,500 pounds. How much is the Jeep Renegade? 3,500 pounds. So I could actually tow the Jeep Renegade with that. Now, I don't know if I want to, because then I got to get like that. It has the tow hitch on the Corrado and everything. This thing's amazing, guys. I think it's a good deal. But I don't know if I want to get the receiver, and I don't know. I'd feel a little bit nervous towing that thing. And obviously, you're not going to get good gas mileage when you tow. So I don't know, man. I mean, that's one reason why I kind of didn't finish the deal today, because I didn't think that out enough. I have to think that out. I want to think out, like, do I want to just trade the Jeep Renegade in and just go and just have I'd rather just have one vehicle, because there's really no purpose to have two vehicles. Because you see, well, you keep gas efficiency if once you bring to the campground the RV, then you just take your Jeep. Yeah, but if I'm not going to stay parked for a long period of time, and when you have a motorhome, you have to start it every once in a while, and you have to drive it. You can't just let it sit. So I would tend, and that's why, but I don't know the answer, and that's why I didn't commit with the deal. I would tend to trade in the Jeep. I probably have a couple $1,000s equity in it now. It's probably worth, my Jeep Renegade, even with the high mileage, is probably worth, I looked on Kelley Blue Book. Again, you got to do the research when you make a big purchase. On Kelley Blue Book, on a trade-in, I would get more private sale. On a trade-in, I should get around $8,000 for it. I owe under $5,000, so I would have a few $1,000s equity in it. So I could put that towards the unit too if I wanted to. But I prefer to only have one vehicle. I prefer to only have one of everything. But I do have an option to tow, but I got to think that out more. Doug, good to see you, Doug. I'm going to get to you, man. Good to see you, Doug. And then Luke also asked, how long do they finance this kind of motorhome? Good question. It all depends on the financial amount in the year. So a brand new one, if it's going to be over $50,000 financed, then it's 20 years. If it's going to be, he said these are just rough numbers, but he said this is pretty much approximate. If it's going to be like under $40,000 financed or under 35, definitely you could only get to 15 years. So the higher the amount financed, the longer the banks tend to stretch them out, because the more money they make, and they have to mitigate the risk because you have a liability on your hands. So pretty much once you go over 50,000, 20 years, under 35, 15 years, everything's negotiable. And then, like, I think if you're like under 20,000, you may only get a 10-year loan, depending. It's all negotiable, but those are some general guidelines. Good question. Journey with Jordan. A fool builds his house on sand. That's true. Got to be careful in Florida. It's like 90% sand. Yeah, I know. But let me tell you something. A fool lives in New Jersey, or a fool lives in the Rocky Mountains. A wise man lives in Boca Raton. And the sand only means more bikinis. So let me tell you something. Now, they probably didn't have that in the scripture. Even though Jesus said stay single, they also had to, they basically had to put the Bible together based on the pressure from the Roman government. So they couldn't put a lot of good stuff in there, because people were proofreading it before they let it out. And they also wanted to control the masses to a certain degree. Why did they want to control the masses? Look at all the trolls. So the trolls had to think like, look, there's a death penalty if you act up too much. And there is. But also to pacify some of the people who are very sensitive, were pro-life. So what I can tell you is this. Let's stay positive. All right? Good job. Dennis, I watched your early video and was amazed at how it met the criteria you laid out. Yeah, well, I got a smaller one than that coming with regards to mobility and being able to have all your mom in your life. Yep. Well, the one I'm looking at is $20,000 cheaper. It's 2 feet smaller, and it still has the pop top, so it made me better. Thank you, Dennis. David, hello, Sam. Tax, interest on loan, insurance, etc. really adds up. It does, but look, I basically looked at if I finance $50,000 at a 5% interest rate for 20 years, that's $330 a month. So even if the interest rate up to 7, it's still under $400 a month. I called my car insurance. It's basically going to be $40 a month in insurance, cheaper than it is now. So pretty much when I add the car insurance and you should get all those numbers first, the car insurance or the RV insurance and the loan, it's going to be under a $500 a month expense. That doesn't include gas, but I think that's still reasonable, below most people's means, and you still have to calculate camping. But again, with 1,000 trails pass and $225 a month, I just did the calculation for you. So pretty much you're going to end up under $1,000 a month for the RV payment, the insurance, the camping fees, and a level of gas to get you through 1 month. It should be under $1,000 a month, and that gives you full utility hookups, unlimited electric, everything. So I think for under $1,000 a month for your housing cost and your commuting cost, I think that's a good deal. And so you still have to pay for food, so you're still going to need to budget another $1,000. So that's what I always tell you guys. You want to project an income of at least $2,000 a month. But if you made $2,000 a month, you could swing it. Now you want to have a certain amount of cash reserve and everything like that, but you have to project your numbers. These are rough numbers, but these are my thoughts. Lauren, she goes, I'm sometimes so relieved when big purchases end up not happening. I totally agree. Error on the side of caution. That's how I felt when I left the dealership. Now, then you go back and forth and you feel a little bit of regret. But error on the side of caution. Good job. Luke, did you have them pull your credit to affect a hard pull of your account? Yeah, well, I pulled my own credit 2 weeks ago when I was looking, because again, I want to do my own research. I don't want to be subject to a dealership. And I went to a big bank to see if I can get a personal loan so I don't have to worry about if I don't like the terms the dealership would offer me. And so I did. They pulled my credit. My credit was like 825. It's great credit. So I barely ever pull my credit report, so I'm not worried about that. So know your credit report. They asked me that, and know that you can get financing outside of the dealership if you don't like their terms. Because again, you want to live on your terms, not their terms. That's the whole point about living free, guys. So I did the research, but we just couldn't get to a gross number of the sales price. But at least I know now, like what the taxes are going to be. So you got a big 10% into the MSRP, and you got to negotiate. I'm not happy. I wasn't happy with where they were at, and I still don't know what I want to do with my Jeep, so I wasn't prepared to really go like to the next level of negotiation. I could have. And when you negotiate, you got to go in person. You got to go in person, and you got to be ready to sign a check, whether it's a house or whether it's a car, when you're ready to really negotiate. Because you don't start throwing out numbers unless you're ready to sign the dotted line. You don't. Because especially, at a car dealership, you got less room to back out. And that's why I just threw one low number out there just to see, and I wasn't even going to be ecstatic if I got that back. So that gives you some answers. Luke, did you have them? Oh, yeah, I read that. XP Jeffy. Hey, Sam, what's up, man? Thanks for everything you do. Thank you for the love, man. Keeping it good, man. Thank you for everything I do on YouTube. Thank you, XP Jeffy. I appreciate you too, man. I appreciate your channel. Keep the countdown to California. Never let anyone steal your dreams. Never let anyone extinguish your confidence. When you get low on your confidence, upload another video. When you get low on your confidence, smile again and say, look, you ain't going to mess up my money. You praise the Lord. Yes, buddy. Journey with Jordan. What a disaster. Don't worry about that. XP Jesse's laughing. Good. Journey with Jordan. Yep. 8833. What's up, brother? I learned a long time ago, found doesn't mean fast. Yep. Take your time. Error on the side of caution. Eric, the Daytona 500 taking place outside of Sam's Starbucks. Hey guys, there's a lot of insecure guys with diesel trucks, a lot of insecure guys with Mustangs, and I was once one of them. Look, I was a young kid with a loud audio system. I'm not above that, okay? I'm a middle-aged man though, guys, okay? If you're a middle-aged man, you're still driving around like that? Am I mad at you? No, it's a free country. But do I want to be around you? No, it's a free country. Lauren, I would finance under LLC. That's a good point. Limit your liability, but then you have to form an LLC. I dissolve my LLC, so there's another fee, and then you got to pay sales tax, or you got to file for sales or tax, even if you don't have any income, because they always want you filing every quarter. So it's a whole process. And deduct the loan as a business expense for your channel. Well, I can't deduct the loan. I can deduct the interest whether I have a channel or not. Whether you have a channel or not, you can deduct a loan on an RV if it's a fully contained unit, meaning it has a kitchen, a bathroom, a sleeping quarters, if it's a primary or secondary use of housing. So it doesn't matter if you have a channel or not, because it's just the way the laws are written. So look that up for yourself, but that's true. But it's a good point. I mean, I have to think about that, but I don't think I want to go down the road of forming an LLC, because I had one, and even when you're not really using it, it's just a lot more paperwork. I got to think about it, though. It's a possibility. Good comment. Luke, thumbs up. Lauren. Journey with Jordan at Lauren. That's a really good idea. Yeah, she's smart. I wonder if Nomadic Fanatic, he does. I've heard him talk about it before. He does deduct that, and so even the small YouTubers do. I know a guy who was living out of his minivan in Florida. And he does it, and he acts like he don't know. He knows. He deducts his food. Like like here's like a can of jelly, and like that's a video prop, and he's right. That's a video prop. So you can deduct a lot of things for business. Like Trump did it. Everyone does it. That's probably not busy drinking barley pop. Yeah, hey, look, hey, he's a drunk. A lot of people like him, and they hate me. I don't drink beer, guys. That guy drinks beer. He's alcoholic. I'm from allegedly. Well, not allegedly, and allegedly he's got domestic dispute. Me, none. But I offend people because I say they got a loud pickup truck. Okay, but if I have a cat and if I drink beer and I talk to you nice, no one cares. But I don't do any of that. All right, good job, Lauren. Yeah, Luke. What's the interest rate for you to finance the motorhome you were looking at? I don't know because we didn't get to that point. I asked him in general terms. He said anywhere between 5 to 7%. When I went to the bank to secure my own personal loan, it was at 7%, because it's an unsecured loan when I get just a personal line of credit. So the most I paid was 7%. The lowest I heard for that would be around 5%. So we'll have to see. Lauren, oh my God, all YouTubers do that. Everyone does that. Not just YouTubers, real estate people, people with multi-level marketing. Any business you have, you sell Boy Scout cookies. Well, I don't know, it's not your business, but everything's deductible if you have a business, if you use it for a business purpose. So yeah, it's true. And then she goes, business expenses, cars, homes, etc. Yep. XB Jeffy. Sam, I love how involved you get with your life decisions. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Appreciate me. Thanks for the information. Well, that's what I'm sharing. I hope it helps you guys a little bit. Thank you, brother. Lauren, Sam is breaking it down. I'm giving it to you good tonight. Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate your insight, too. I appreciate the wisdom in your comments. Journey with Jordan. At Lauren, I'd assume your channel would have to be monetized to form an LLC. I don't know if it wouldn't have to be necessarily. Because you could certainly, especially in the first couple of years, operate your business just at a net loss. I don't know if you could have no income. I know for a business you can operate at a net loss. So that definitely for a couple of the beginning years, or even some in between. But look, once you start doing any venture, you need to document. Okay, document receipts. Now you got apps. Even when I did DoorDash for a month, I have to document that, guys. I got to pay taxes. Okay, so I had to document the mileage I was doing, when I was on the clock, when I was off the clock, anything I used, a T-shirt I bought for DoorDash. That's all got to be deducted because I got income from it. So you have to look that doing DoorDash is a business. Uber's a business. So you don't just do that bit. You got deductions. So like it doesn't matter if you're doing a minimum wage job like DoorDash, if you're doing an entrepreneur thing like YouTube, if you're a real estate mogul like Trump, or if you're Sally selling lemonade at the side of the road. Guys, Sally selling lemonade. She's got to pay for the glassware, the ingredients for the lemonade. Any space that she has to rent on a sidewalk. So every business has expenses and deductions. You're in the business of your life. You're the CEO of your life. Stop acting like a minimum wage worker. You got to think like a CEO, guys. Come on. Good job. Sam is breaking down. Yep. Good job. Apathy. Hey, Sam. Just curious. It looks like the feds are going to lower the mortgage interest rate. Yeah, basically Trump talked them down to lowering the rate. You bullied them into it. I'm not mad at him, even though he was mad at Obama when Obama did that. Do you think that means there will be more people looking to buy? I'm looking to sell my house. Well, I don't know if there's going to be more people looking to buy. It definitely helps the real estate market or any person looking to borrow money. And most people who are going to buy a home are going to borrow money. Very few people pay cash. So it helps you. And the overall economy is still good. The overall stock market's still good. So it helps you. It doesn't guarantee anything, but yeah, it helps. So look, yeah, because when interest rates go down, basically the government is trying to create an environment where more business transactions take place, more people borrow money. When the government supposedly fears that inflation is getting too high, meaning that the cost of goods and services are increasing above the salaries of the average person, they try to raise the interest rates to keep from an asset bubble taking place. Now, sometimes they do it too late. Example, 2007. So, or some people say like they raised it when people were too leveraged up and they didn't have enough cash reserves and they had adjustable rate mortgages. So there was a whole nother scheme going on there. But the bottom line is when interest rates go up, the government is looking to slow the economy. When interest rates are down, they're looking to speed up the economy. So right now, they're still looking to speed up the economy. They're still looking to inflate prices, including houses. So it helps the borrower because look, an interest rate, I think even like like I did the interest on a 20-year loan for RV at $50,000. I think it was like $330 per month if I got a 20-year loan for $50,000 at 5%. If I brought that loan up 2% to 7%, I think it was close to 400, under 400, but closer to 400. So that's $70 difference just by 2 interest rate points for $50,000. Most people's houses are like $250,000. That's a big difference for some people. Okay, again, you have to remember 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, even with a stock market all-time high. So if 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, a couple $100s per month in their expense budget makes a big difference. Okay, so in my opinion, you should know what you want to do afterwards. But if you're looking to sell, I mean, I would sell. Look, I sold my house in 2016. Oh, I think it was 16. So, and it still went up a little bit. But you have to decide in your mind when you're ready to sell that even if it goes up more, you want out. Because you're saying, look, this is the time in my life. This is the time in my life. And I'm not going to look at Zillow the rest of my life. I'm going to say, this price is good enough to get me out of the situation and I want out. And then you have to accept that the price may go up or it may go down. You never want to look at a stock that you could have bought 2 years ago and say, I should have bought it. You never want to look at a house and say, oh, I should have bought it or I shouldn't have sold it. Once you make a big purchase decision or a big sell decision, you say, all right, and you let it go and you move on with your life. Good job. So yeah, if you want to sell, I would get the hell out of Dodge. Just have your plan, talk out your plan, count the cost of your future, because there's nothing in life that's without cost, even, living full-time on the road. So just think about it. Lauren, lessen the tax burden a little bit. It lessens it, but you still have a net negative effect in most cases. XP Jeffy, could I deduct my channel if it's monetized? If it's monetized, yeah, because you definitely have expenses. Your phone, anything you use to record, you bought a GoPro. That's a business expense. So I would keep that receipt. I would use the Stride tax app to take a picture of the receipt, document it, stored in the cloud. So like if you bought a GoPro for your channel, that's a business expense. You did a video about like a McDonald's bonfire. You bought McDonald's, like you had to buy that McDonald's to do the bonfire. So that's that food that you bought at McDonald's, business expense. Now, being that it's not monetized, there's a little gray area there. I think you may still be able to. I'm not an accountant, do your own research, but those are some thoughts that I would definitely start. Look, as long as you're going to be consistent, XP Jeffy, your channel's going to get monetized. Your biggest thing is you turn into a ghost after a couple weeks. No one knows where the hell you were. You had like damn 2,000 subscribers before you even started the XP Jeffy stuff. You were talking about like backsliding on like NoFab, and I don't know what the hell NoFab was. So what the hell is NoFab? Guys, NoFab, you gotta look at XP Jeffy's channel, man. But he's great. XP Jeffy's got way better personality than me. Like XP Jeffy, these people love him. Why? Because he's like the guy next door. He's a skater. He loves everyone. Like me, I go tell you, screw yourself. Like, I'm like basically Trump, but compassion. So a lot of people don't like me, guys. Believe it or not. So you got way more subscribers. Guys, I would have probably like 20,000 subscribers. I blocked probably about 5,000 subscribers by now. And that's why they hate me. So what I can tell you is, XP Jeffy, you're a lot more nicer than me. You're almost like Hillary Clinton. Now, I'm not going to say you're going to get elected over me, but you'll have more donations, all right? So what I can tell you is this: document everything, man. Get a receipt for everything, and don't disappear, man. You just disappear, and your channel totally just fades away. You would have had like 20,000 subscribers if you wouldn't have gave up, man. Don't give up, man. Don't NoFab either. Just do you, man. Be careful out there. All right, let's stay positive. Where were we at? Apathy said that. Lauren said that. Lauren, can you make a LLC anytime you want? File with state, but yes, you would eventually want to monetize. Yep, that's true. You can form an LLC whenever you want. It's going to cost you. You could do it online. I remember at one time I did it with a lawyer. You could do it online. LLC is pretty easy, but you're going to have to file quarterly returns, even if you have no money. Like I know definitely every state varies, but in New Jersey, when I had an LLC, even though I stopped doing business out of it, I kept it open. You have to pay a yearly fee to the state to keep it open. I don't know what it was, like $100 or $150. That's the deduction off your business, but it's still a fixed expense. You don't get money back. You just deduct some of it, and you have to file quarterly sales tax statements that either you took in revenue and you have to pay a sales tax and you have to project that each quarter. You have to keep all your documents, or you generated no revenue and you don't have any projected sales tax or whatever it's going to be. It all depends what business and what type of revenues you're bringing in, but it's a whole process, guys. And that's why I got a lot of guys say, screw this, I'm just going to be a troll, because You can't deduct anything for that, so that's crazy. All right, let's stay positive. Where are we? This is good comments tonight. This is a good conversation tonight. Apathy. Good advice, Lauren. Yeah, Lauren's very smart. Lauren, what do you do for a living? Lauren, you could probably deduct gas. You definitely could. Well, gas, you got to be careful. Gas insurance, you could. There's two different ways to look at that, but if you deduct mileage, a certain percentage per mile, then that a lot of times includes gas wear and tear. Now you can do individual itemized deductions where you do gas, maintenance, etc. But you got to be careful with that. You definitely can't do that and deduct mileage. So you have to kind of choose. Do you for DoorDash? I just deducted the mileage I used, and that has a pre-calculation. You can use the Stride tax app, STRIDE, and it'll document the miles if you do Uber or any type of delivery service, and it'll calculate what your projected deductions are. So you have to figure out: are you going to deduct per mileage, or are you going to deduct gas, maintenance, etc.? You gotta keep all your documents. At the end of the day, you can always consult an accountant, but if you don't have documents, you can't consult anyone. You're basically going to get screwed. Layla, what's up, Layla? South Florida, State Home, Venice Park, Mouth, 50K. You got pretty much all of it. Good to see you, Layla. Lauren. Contact an accountant. I'm just an IT, like a personal finance. No, but you got wisdom. Hey, look, guys. Most people are just winging it anyway. But no, you got some good advice. But yeah, you always got to consult. Good job. Nice advice, Sam. Thank you, XB. Lauren, keep the videos coming, XB Jeffy. Yeah, that's his biggest problem. The guy disappears, man. No offense, XB Jeffy, but you would have been way past me, man. You just disappear. Don't disappear. And just show up. I know it's a pain in the ass, though. And he even made a reference. He said, guys, it's not as easy as you think. They want more XB Jeffy. Now, eventually, they're going to hate you. They build you up, and then they hate you, and then you got to fight through all that. XP Jeffy, it's a disaster. YouTube ain't good. YouTube, look, but it's a good side hustle if you got a personality like yours. Okay, you got a good personality, you can go you can go pretty far in it. But if it's tearing up your mental health things, then you got to be careful. But yeah, I think you should definitely do it because you're young enough. And this is what I would tell you, XP Jeffy. If you can stay consistent in 5 years, your channel will be in a great place. You don't have to upload every day, but if you upload, this is what I would say, XP Jeffy, upload at least once a week. If you can focus on at least once a week, you could do that for 5 years consecutive, your channel 5 years from now would definitely be monetized. You would definitely have it as a good side hustle, and you'd be in good shape. Luke, do you feel more secure camping and traveling in a car stealth? RV more exposed? No, in the Corrado Exxon, I would feel more safer because I would be definitely at more campgrounds. So that's the positive. I would feel more comfortable. I would have a level of anxiety that's gone. I would, have more of an expense, which would be the negative, and that's why I'm cautious. But yeah, and that's the only reason I'm looking. That's the biggest upside right now. I would gain convenience, comfort, and security, because even though I would stealth once in a while, I would use the 1,000 Trails Pass, which I can't use currently because you can't be a tent camper in the parks in Florida for most of them. So I can get as far as using the 1,000 trails. You can do it in the state parks, but you can't use the 1,000 Trails Pass in the state parks. So the 1,000 trails would solve that. And even if I stayed at a state or local park for 7 days out of a month, that's still, like I say, only a couple $100 a month. And I'd have full utility hookups. I wouldn't have to worry about sweating all night long with just a fan. So at this point in my journey, if I can get a good price, I mean, that's a relative term, $50,000, a lot of money. So that's why I told him today. He said, Sam, look, he goes, we're only difference a few $1,000s. I said, I know, but this is a big purchase, okay? So I said, I'm not going to look at just the payment, because that's what he kept trying to get me to focus on. Again, you got to be careful with payments, because the saying goes, poor people only focus on the payments. I said, look, it's not just the payment. I said, it's 20 years worth of payments. I said, and it projects out to $80,000, $90,000. I said, that's a lot of money. I said, I can't just make an emotional decision. And he understood, but that's he's trying to do his job. I'm trying to do my job. You're in the business of your life. Never forget it. XB will do, Lauren. Apathy. Seems like the whole nation is running under debt. Look, 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. So if you're in debt, don't feel bad. And I've been there, so I understand, and that's why I'm very cautious. And so is the sales guy. The sales guy who his wife just bought a house on a spur, he's in debt. That's why he wants to sell an RV to me. So, but don't feel bad. Most people are. It takes a level of living an odd life to not be like the masses. Consumerism is a dangerous trap, guys. I've been there. So yeah, don't feel bad if you are. I understand completely, and that's why that'll light a fire under you if you want to sell and downsize. Now, I'm not saying you should live like me, but I do think there's wisdom in downsizing. And if you're going to downsize, especially liquidate a big asset, do it now. Now, if you're mentally unstable, if you don't know how you're going to get income, now you have to be careful with housing, because again, I think if you are in a bad place and you don't have a reliable income and you have some issues, doesn't make you any less than somebody, but you need a lot of stability. And so I think what a lot of people forget is, for some people, stability is more important than flexibility. For some people, stability is more important than flexibility. You have to be honest with yourself, your condition, how you are able to deal with change, how adaptive you are, and that's going to determine what you want to do with your life. And then you have to push past fear. And then you have to say there's no guarantee. You can make a decision, it could be wrong. So you have to go through a whole process. But I want to say confidence, 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 but research, 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 be honest, do some trial and error, and best of luck to everyone. Luke, I like the idea of having a dog in my RV with me. Okay, but you're just adding a lot. I had a dog, a lot of liability there, but I understand that too. I was having a nomadic business so I could be with my dog. It's true, but when you have a dog, you just added another expense, not just financially, but emotionally. And your business is going to suffer too. You're going to get love back. I do love dogs, and I'm not saying I'd never get another one, but I feel like, look, I feel like my dog, it was like my wife. How I look at life is once your wife dies, that's it. I think you get married once, all right? But for some people, they get married a million times, okay? I'm just different. I don't know. So one is, if you never had a dog, I'm fine with it. It's a lot of money, it's a lot of emotional commitment, and you're usually going to outlive your dog. So for me, it's like, I don't want to go through all that again, man. And I feel like I'd be cheating on my dog. But everyone's different. Just know that a dog is not just, you get a lot of love, man. And dogs are a blessing from the Lord. But it costs money. And if you're not in a good place yourself, and if you're not settled, be careful. And if you have to work a full-time job, and if you don't have 3 years of data showing that your business is making income, most businesses fail. So now you're going to have a dog, you're going to have more expenses, your business may not make it. I had 2 businesses, guys. I don't have them anymore. So you're going to go through a lot of trial and error, especially as a young man, or young woman, or whoever. So just be careful when it comes to committing. A dog is a big purchase. Why? Because you're basically going on a 10, 15-year commitment. And I averaged the monthly cost of my dog, financially, it was about $300 a month, average, after you factor in food, veterinarian bills, and toys, and everything else. So you just added $300 a month, and you added in a lot of emotional commitment. And if you got to go to work during the day, now if you have an RV, yeah, you can park that RV at an RV park and leave the air conditioning on for it. That's a plus. So that's okay. Now, in a van, you'd have to be fully retired and be able to take care of it. Good point, though. Luke, while traveling, apathy. That's the idea, Luke. But it's tough living with a pet on the road. Yep, good wisdom, apathy. But I'm not against it, but think about it. XB, Sam, you're not sick, but you sound sick. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Jordan, wish I could bought stock. Don't go forward, brother. I've been there. I tore myself up some bad financial decisions I made that failed. You got to let go. I understand, though. No Phil Jill. Hey, no Phil Jill. Hey, Sam. And hey, Jill. Queen, I hope you're still here. Hello, Sam. How are you doing? I'm doing the best I can. How are you? Lauren, the headset is like a work video conference. It is. Sam needs a hot pink headset. The hot pink one look better. But what happened is when I have to hold the thing up with the little mic, I drop it, the audio wouldn't be consistent. So the audio last night wasn't that good, but I think I had an echo. So I'm gonna give trial and error. I'm a trial and error. Look, this was $10 from Walmart. This was a business expense. $10 from Walmart. Business expense for the YouTube channel. So if this works out, great. If it doesn't, trial and error. I'll get rid of it. I know I don't look as sexy with it, but hey, look. So most of you guys are ugly anyway. So I mean, come on, you guys are judging me. You guys are ugly. Come on, let's be honest. All right, let's stay positive. Queen, did you get the mouse pad from Walmart? Yes, I did. Queen, I tried the Dollar Tree, but they didn't have it. $5 from Walmart. $5, Queen. This is a business expense too, Queen. Look. All right, good job. Not as good as the dog one, though. Queen, if you do videos about dolls, your dolls are a business expense now. Okay? But your video scared me with all those dolls. I'm not going to lie. It was like the movie Chucky. It was scary. Where are we at? Oh, yeah, I read that. Journey with Jordan. Paint the headset Latino milk pink. Yeah. And call it a day. Well, I may do that. Journey with Jordan. Yeah, I read that. Paid off. Hello, everyone. Hey, Queen. My day was great. Awesome, Queen. Lauren, Do you know the miles per gallon on those RVs? Corrado Axion between 15 to 20. Maybe get 22 max. Uh, yeah, not that high. You said 20 to 25. No, not that high. It is regular gas though. Good question. Gas in Vegas is 2.99. That's how much it is in Boca Raton. But if you go in like into a quiet suburb, you get like 2.20. She said that's a regular lowest. Florida's pretty low for gas price. Car insurance high, but gas price low. Lowest has been in almost 2 years. Yep, it's down. That's true. Dennis, it's fun. And that's when you buy an RV or you buy a big diesel pickup truck. You have to think about if gas doubles, is that still living below your means? Think about that. Dennis goes, it's fine. The headset stays. Maybe get another color. You don't like the black foam, or just take it off and do you. All right, let's take a hydration break, guys. We're in overtime tonight, guys. We're going all night long. No, maybe another 10 minutes. We'll see. Click that thumbs up button, guys, too. I appreciate that. Dennis, oh yeah, I read it. XP Jeffy. The headset is great, man. Thank you. Real live streamers use headset. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Jerry with Jordan. The foam provides wind sound protection. That's true, but it does. Without me having to use my preacher rag, because I was doing that for a while, guys. The preacher rag's a business expense, not paying. I could do it if I want. Apathy. $2.59 a gallon in mass for gas. Okay. But affluent neighborhoods, it's good for $3.19. Yeah, Boca Raton's like that. Yep. I wish I bought some Amazon stock. Gotta go for it, but I understand your point. They didn't even make a profit for like 20 years. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. That's right. Let it go. I agree with you. Good comment, Apathy. XP Jeffy. Not saying you're not. I love you, brother. It's okay. Not saying you're not a real streamer. Keep up the great work. I appreciate you, brother. You know, I think highly of you. I do. You're good, man. Queen. Hello, Journey with Jordan. Spring Hill. I filed Chapter 7 bankruptcy earlier this year. All right. Thank you for sharing. I actually gained a lot of knowledge in the process. Good job. Thank you for sharing. And I do hear the knowledge in your voice. And I think you can share a lot with a lot of people that go through that. So thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing. Queen. Hello, Apathy. Lauren. Cal. Oh, yes. Cali's always high. But Cali's got a lot of job opportunities, guys. Let me tell you something. If you had to move to San Francisco, you're blessed because there's tons of jobs, especially in technology. If you had to move to Mississippi, not tons of jobs. So don't let them down talk San Francisco. Believe me, there's more job opportunity in San Francisco than Mississippi. Never forget that, guys. Or Tennessee. Tennessee has one of the highest poverty rates. All right, let's continue. He goes, Cali regular gas was $4.89 regular a few months ago near Mojave Desert. Well, thank you for sharing. I didn't know that. Journey with Jordan. And no disrespect, Tennessee. I love you, Journey with Jordan. But you guys are living a lot of poverty, man. That's why Dave Ramsey's so popular. What's up, Queen? How are the dolls? Apathy. Thanks, Sam. Good to see you too, brother. You are working the headset. Well, thank you. Apathy. Almost $5 for gas in Cali Dam. Yeah, but they got a lot of job opportunity. Massachusetts not bad too, though. Luke. So the motorhome would just be your main vehicle. That's what I think. You would not have a secondary. I prefer not to. Even though I was glad that the motorhome could tow my Jeep, but I don't think I like the idea of that. I think that's too much aggravation. But that's one of the reasons why I walked away today, because I have to give that more thought. That's something that I really got to think about. That's a good question. Luke said, question mark, yep, I answered that. K Ford, 15 seconds after I bought a house, I regretted it. Thank you for sharing that. Glad I got rid of it now. It felt like the sword of, basically like a disaster. Thank you for sharing, K Ford. I agree with that. That's called buyer's remorse. And the longer the commitment and the harder the asset, the more buyer's remorse. The lower the purchase price and the more liquid the asset is, the less buyer's remorse, because you have more options to get out of it. A house, even though it's going to appreciate definitely more than an RV, but you have less flexibility. So you have more buyer's remorse, but you may have more upside in the future. But I don't know if I'll ever want to purchase again. I don't know. I have learned a lot about home ownership that I would say it's not always wisdom to buy. Definitely not. Definitely not. And I think there's a lot of value in renting, definitely flexibility. And I think, again, I'm definitely not against renting. Definitely not. And I definitely have now, as I've matured, I recognize the value of home ownership. But I think unless you have a family and unless you want to be in one area for a long period of time, you just have to be cautious with home ownership, because it's a big entanglement, and it takes a lot to dissolve. Not a bad thing. But I value flexibility at my point in life, especially being single. I like non-attachment. I'm not going to say it's always the cheapest way, but I agree with you. Thank you for sharing, K Ford. XP Jeffy, I only have about 1 grand left on the Cyclone XB. Yep, can't wait to have it paid off. Money bag emoji. Yeah, I agree, and that's why I'm a little bit cautious too, right? Because I'm finally at the point where, like, I have the car paid off, and now it's like I got to go back into a loan, and it's like it's weird. That's the way the cycle works. Is like usually as soon as you get something paid off, then you're like almost looking to do something, and that's why I really made the conscious effort originally when I hit the road not to get a motorhome, because I didn't want to do that. And so that's why now I'm very cautious. And you see how I've been cautious the past couple of years, because I understand that cycle. I've been in that cycle where as soon as you get it paid off, you buy new. So, or you buy something with a loan. So you have to be conscious. It's a real thought. And again, error on the side of caution when making big purchases. Good comment. Lauren, all the connection hoses for the RV. Yeah, also a good point. Yeah, I got to run through that. When you buy one, I ran through a lot today with it. But mainly, to be honest with you, I mean, as crazy as it may sound, initially I would only use the electrical hookup. I would not use the water. I still take a shower at Planet Fitness at this point. I like the option of having it if I got sick, and if I wanted to use it, I have all the hoses there. But at this point, I think I only want to use the electric. I'll put a plastic bag in a toilet as a liner if I needed it. And I think I would still take my shower at Planet Fitness, because I don't know if I want to clean the tanks and worry about dumping them. I may eventually evolve to that, but I think my main focus initially is getting an RV so I can go to certain campgrounds where I'm fully contained, having it as a backup if I ever need to use all the hookups, if I'm sick or if I'm hurting. But initially, I think I'm just going to use the electrical hookup, and that's my thought process. Lauren says, yeah, maintaining the hot water here, that's a negative. I know, that's why, again, I think I'm only going to use the electric and just have that as a standby if I need it, and only run it once in a while to keep it like lubed up. And then Lauren says, my dad says kids are poor investment. Well, I don't want to say that, but I understand that, and I kind of say that, but I certainly want to say I know some people that love kids and that's their life. So I have a friend like that. Actually, he's a guy. He loves having kids. He wishes he could have more if he had more money. So there are some people out there that, they really enjoy having kids. I don't want to take that away from them. But for me, I don't. I love kids. Like, I'm good with kids, but I don't want to raise them. I just don't, for me, I'm just not a family person. But I want to respect that, everyone's different. But they're a huge expense. They're the biggest expense you'll ever have. So you definitely have to caution when you're talking about having some. But he loves them. Yep, that's what happens. Yeah, good job. Spring, don't take any loan with a high interest rate, pay cash, and be done with it. You have some valid point, but also if you pay cash, you dump out a bigger amount of reserves. I mean, $50,000. I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm just going to say that if you get a 5 to 7% interest rate and it's tax deduction, and you keep a level of cash reserves, I think that's wisdom. I'm not going to say you're wrong, though. I just want to get a kind of counterbalance. But again, I appreciate your comment. XP Jeffy, at Lauren, she's laughing. Journey with Jordan, at Lauren. And the black water hose, I've seen some videos on those, and what I can tell you is they look like a disaster. Yep, that's why I'm only going to use the electric in the beginning. Now, the Corrado Exion in 2019, it has one common hose. It doesn't have a gray or black. It just has a common one, and it basically has like something that, like almost like a trash disposer that chops everything up, and it exhausts in one hose. I like that. See, I like the Corrado Exion, guys. Got a lot of stuff to offer, in my opinion. Lauren. Total disaster at Journey. Yep. Dennis, solid insight, Sam. Thank you. Well, thank you, brother. Spring Hill. Yes, it does. You are marrying a damn big payment. That's true. You better make sure it's something you really want. I hear you, brother. I'm not mad at you. I think your comment's wisdom. Lauren, I went to southern Utah this weekend to Dinosaur Track Site. Okay. Took my, oh, yeah, that's right. You got the Kia Niro 30 miles off-road and didn't pop a tire. Look, again, I think obviously SUV or van, you got extreme amount of flexibility, especially SUV. And I think that's a hybrid too, right? So definitely if you're part-timing, I think that's great. And definitely go more off-roading on most SUVs than in motorhomes. I don't really do much. Oh, Queen, you're coloring? Praise the Lord. Queen, I love you. I love your positivity. I love you, Queen. But yeah, I mean, I don't really do much off-roading. But what I will say is, Look, you can do a lot in a van or SUV. You really don't need a motorhome. Okay, I'm looking at possibly. It does add some comfort and convenience, and after a certain period on the road, you value that. But error on the side of caution. Good job. Uh, Journey with Jordan. Those Starbucks girls are like, yeah, this dang dude's been working 2 laptops all day. Now he's on the conference call. They say that to me. Some of them ask me what I do. I try to like tell them without telling them. But look, it's when you're out on the road and when you're a nomad and when you're in Starbucks, you're gonna, you have a lot of opportunity to form relationships, personal ones and love interest. You almost have to avoid it if you want to be like me. But there's definitely opportunity. Like some people say, like you're actually going to meet more people than you ever met if you're on the road because you're out in the public more. Journey with Jordan, you know that. So most of you people, and like just like I was, you spend most of your time in your house or at work or just in your house. So on the road, I've spent more time in public than I ever had. So I'm good with people. I don't, I like my alone time, but I'm good with people. But there's a lot of opportunity for relationships, whether you're at the gym, whether you're at Starbucks, the beach park. There's so many different conversations that happen throughout the day that if you were a social person, you'd be in heaven. You'd be like the stovetop stuffing kid. You can go to a different house every night for dinner. But I don't want to do that. I lived that life. I don't want to do that anymore. And then she goes, all day. What a boss asked you that. Journey with Jordan. Nice. I've heard that the Kia Neon gets 51 miles per gallon. XP Jeffy, great advice. Thank you, brother. Lauren, 48 to 52. That's great, Lauren. Spring, having options is power. I agree with that. Good job. Lauren, flexibility is everything. I agree with that. Vibes. Dennis, you got it. I hope you're still in here, Dennis. You know that was coming. Journey with Jordan. No options is bondage. Yep, I agree with that. You got to have options. Lauren. Yeah, like the show Catfish. Oh, yeah, the people who hide behind profiles. Believe me, they're not hot people. Like, you think hot people got the time to make fake profiles? They're out there dodging people trying to get with them. Not making fake profiles. Come on, man. Where are we at? You guys are making me laugh. Where are we at? I'm totally lost. Man, I'm way behind comments. You guys are leaving a lot of comments. Are we going to get to all of them tonight? We'll see. We'll see. Damn, I didn't even realize I was that far behind comments. Where are we at? I'm thinking the troll. Oh, Liz. The crabs will keep you from getting out of the bucket and improving yourself. So don't even give them the satisfaction, Sam. You're awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll make a mental note. Thank you. Thank you very much, Liz. You're right. Yeah, the crabs keep... what happens is you put a bunch of crabs in a bucket. When one tries to crawl out of the bucket, the other ones actually suck them back in because they don't want them to escape. So that's an excellent analogy. I totally agree with that. Dennis, I'm thinking trolls are the perfect reason... let me just refresh this. The perfect reason. I think the trolls are the perfect reason to pause, take a hydration break, and then move forward. I agree with that. Let's do that. Let's definitely do that. Hang with me, guys. We're coming. We are coming. Okay. Why do I have no internet? Hang with me, guys. I'm coming. Oh, no, I have no internet. It's a disaster. I don't know. Internet went down there. Let me see if I can go back to side comments. I don't even think I'm going to get to all of them tonight. All right, guys, I'm not going to get to them. There's no way. There's too many. And I lost internet somehow. It's a disaster. All right, guys, what I can tell you is I gave you the best advice I got anyway. And Stone Ape, good to see you, man. Spark up a fat one for me, man. What I can tell you is this, guys. I gave you the best advice I could. I appreciate you guys leaving your comments. I'm sorry I couldn't get to all of them tonight. It's just too many. And my internet went down, and I don't even know how good this is coming in anymore. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for clicking the thumbs up. Be cautious when making a big purchase. Value your flexibility. Count the cost. Keep doing you. Live your best life. Live a simplified life. And we'll go from there, guys. Peace and love, man. Thank you.